Welcome to IGLI. Today we are doing a potting marathon. I've been putting it off long enough and I need to get it done, so I'm getting it done now. I was putting it off because I wanted to make sure I got the soil right and a few other things. And so I have been doing some of my own personal tests to make sure that I don't get this wrong, because the last few times hasn't been any sunlight problem, hasn't been any watering problem. It's more been based on a soil problem. So with that said, I am going to get this stuff potted up. I got a pomegranate, olive, and banana. Now, the pomegranate and olive I found at a grocery store, and I was kind of surprised that I did. So, and then I checked them to make sure that they were actually ones that were produced well and do a good job, and they actually were, which I was surprised with. So it was a steal to get each one of them for like $8, which usually these sides of plants will cost you like between $12 to $18, which with shipping added on is like $20 a plant. So I made out like a bandit. So with any further ado, let's get the stuff potted up here. I think we'll do the pomegranate first here. Now this will not be just you watching me and doing stuff. I will try to give information about each plant as I do it, and I will probably do a video on each one and how to grow them and stuff like that. Also, if you tell me that you want them in the comment section for me to do videos like that, it'll also encourage me to do stuff like that. So with that said, let me bring the pot over here. Got that. I've got some perlite, and then I got some peat moss, and I got some stuff. This stuff is amazing for citrus. I know it's not organic, but it works great for it. And then I got some all-purpose stuff to use as a base, and I think I'm going to use it. I'm going back and forth for the banana, but we will see. I know with the pomegranate, this stuff should do just fine on its own. Now, some people will say, well, aren't you going to mix in some fertilizer? And I would say, no, I'm not, because of the fact, I'm going to cover, well, a little better one there. That's for the fact that they, I'll just use one here, that I don't like to fertilize stuff in the soil until they get established. Now, I probably will, I'm going to put that, I don't want that. I probably will fertilize it here maybe in a week or two, but just let it get settled in a bit before I fertilize it, because it just kind of helps. Okay, so get that cut there. You can get this at Home Depot if you're interested in where to get it. Good soil. Okie dokie. Now, simple enough. I've covered the hole with a bit of clay, because the clay will take the moisture out, and on top of that, covers the hole so the dirt doesn't get in the way and the water can just get right through it. Let's see here. This just has a decorative outside. Now, some people like to plant it right at the rim. You need to plant it just below. Okie dokie. See how that works. Yeah, just do just fine. All right, let me take this guy out here. Nice, good, healthy root system there. Put it in. And then I will grab, is it here or what's it, where? Nope, where, it's right there. It's blind as a bat. Well, actually, that would be a compliment, because bats can see quite well. You know, I might just use this as a scooper to get it. But yeah, I know my dad's pretty happy about the pomegranate, because he loves pomegranate. One of these days, I want to try to grow one outside, one of the hardy ones. I don't know if you guys have heard of those, that they can go down to about I think zone 7, zone 3, or no, not zone 3, down to zone 8 or 7. I'm wondering if I apply the same stuff you do with a fig, where you wrap it up and then you mulch the roots, if I can pull it through our winters. Maybe I can cheat the cold. It's always fun to push the zones. Be like, haha, can't do nothing to me. You know, I'm just gonna, there we go. Come on, smooth it out there. Oh, can't wait to see what this guy looks like. I might need to do some trimming and pruning. Also, one of the videos I want to try to do here, upcoming videos, is a citrus pruning, because one of my citrus needs to be pruned. Note to self, one of these bags fills a 12-inch pot when you've got a 6-inch pot plant going into it. There we go. Now, I'm not going to press too hard. I've learned my lesson with that. When I killed one of my oranges that way, where when I pressed him too hard when I planted him and compressed the soil, so when I pulled him out, he died because I broke one of the roots, and they're very, very sensitive about those type of things. I'm not gonna press you too hard. Maybe give it a little bit more to top it off. I don't know if I'll get fruit this year or not. I have a feeling I won't, but I could be proven wrong. Okay. It's pretty good to me. Oh, let me take that off. I forgot about that. Wait. He's all tied up in there. You know, I'm just gonna cut that little thing. Problem solved. There we go. So, as you can see, we're all got that pot. I'm gonna add, well actually, I'm gonna move him over, and then I'm gonna add the water. Water adds a lot more weight. Looks nice. I can't wait to see them all nice and big and pow. Okay, now that guy's out of the way. Let's get to trash. Meow. Meow. Alright, let's get to the olive. Olive. Let me cut this tag off. I love canned olives, but I never really have seen an olive grow. I saw them and I was like, oh, that's the prettiest plant I've ever seen. Because it just looks so, they look so unique and so interesting. Gotta bring this guy over. Then cut that open. And I was just amazed at how I looked. I can't wait to see how he'll do. I know with them, you need to put them outside for a bit to give them a cold chill, to make them drop their leaves and stuff. But I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. What I might do is cheat, and in the fall, I'll put them outside for part of the day and get them nice and cold. But then when the colder bit of the night comes, I'll pull them inside, and then do that for a couple months. Just kind of put them out when it's above freezing, pull them in. Or I might cheat and set up a light fixture in the garage. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas on that, I would love to have those to help me out. Ooh, something about putting your hands through soil. It's nice. So I'm just going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. Hopefully you guys have some ideas and suggestions on that to figure out what exactly to do for him in that respect, because he's a great plant. It's just a little bit more tricky when you can't keep them indoors. You can't just keep them outdoors. You have to be a little bit more juggling. Sometimes juggling is not Tyler's expertise. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, I want a little deeper. Have a scooper here. Scoopa. But yeah, it'd be really cool if I could get some delicious mouth-watering olives. Just one thing. That could be like my one special gift, if, like for the bananas. One time a year, delicious stuff. Also, I'm thinking about starting up a program. Not a program, but a... that looks good. Program. Or mission, or whatever. Come on, out you come. Ooh, nice root system. Me likey the look of that. Pull them out a little there. Then we put that in. We scoop it around. Which the goal of it would be, because I had an idea for maybe a way that I could grow tropical plants outdoors all year. Which some people would be like, well, why would you do that? Well, I would tell them, well, why wouldn't you? Because the whole reason I kind of do indoor gardening is to have this delicious stuff, and if I could grow stuff outside, then I wouldn't have to go through all the rigmarole that I do go through. I ran out of that. This is old stuff. Oh, I know what this stuff is. That I reused the package on that. I guess I'll just use a little bit of this. Burning through my potting mix faster than I thought. Ooh. But never fear, Tyler will find a way. Now, don't quote me on this, but if I think so, these guys use a balanced feed. I'll cover that in a video I'll do on them. You know, I'm just gonna open this up and go like that. Full sun, of course, with these guys. I'm gonna put them up on the front patio and they should do just great. Also, this will give them a little bit more space so that there's water for them to drink, because on the patio it gets hot, which I know the banana's gonna love. It's good. Got a little water. But the idea of the program was I'd have like these domes and they'd cover it with some polycarbonate material, and then the main frame would be made out of PVC. Now, I wanted to heat them, and I was like, well, an electric heater wouldn't work, so I think what I'll do is I'll put these compost heaters in. And the goal of a compost heater would be that compost can get up to like 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And what it would do would be that it would, oh, that looks nice. The goal of what the heater would do, or compost gets up to about 120 degrees. Now, with it getting up to 120 degrees, that's a lot of heat. And I thought, well, what if I ran some tubing through there and blew air? The air that would come in would be cold, go in, warm up, and then come out and then heat the dome. Then I could hook it up to a plug-in controller, and that would turn on and off according to the temperature, which then it would be like a little mini thermostat in there, and it would heat it and cool it, and then I could actually grow like a full, giant, tall banana, and it wouldn't have to be like a dwarf or something, and I could actually get like a huge bunch of bananas every year. I'll just have to see. I'll launch the program here. It's in the beginning phases of me looking at costs and stuff, but hopefully it gets off the ground. I think it'll be a really interesting thing to do, to try stuff. I think the first year we'll try like a pineapple outdoors or something that's cheap, and I know I can grow and start outdoors and see if I can get it to live. I'd like at some point to try to do a tea plant, because I really enjoy tea, and I can make my own green teas, black teas, and white teas. Now, this is one of the pots I cleaned on the pot cleaning video, so it is all clean. That's bye-bye, and that's bye-bye. Okie dokie, I'm gonna need to mix some pot mix up for this. I'm gonna take this stuff. I'm gonna add some peat moss and some perlite. Now, the perlite will help with air and other stuff and drainage, and then also the peat moss makes it a little bit more richer. It brings the pH down, which I don't know any plant hardly. You know, you can get the pH too low, but there isn't any plant that'll scoff at having a really low pH. So I'm going to add that stuff, and also I found peat moss, as long as you don't submerge it and it soaks into water, is really good at draining the, oh, dang it, draining water out. So, with that said, I'm going to bring that over here, and I am going to pour this in. I'm just going to eyeball this here. So, there's a little bit. Then we're going to add a bit of peat moss. Actually, this is cooking, garden cooking. Welcome to garden cooking. Today we are add a little peat moss there. Help with the drainage, hopefully, and bring it up a bit. Then we'll go and we'll give a little perlite there. Mix it all up. And we should be just fine. That's looking good. Hopefully this turns out well. One of these days I want to do some major testing and find what is, well, once my budget gets a little bigger and I can kill more plants for the sake of experiment. They die in a worthy cause. They knew what they signed up for. And do some testing and literally make a custom mix for the bananas, because they're kind of tricky. They like to get some moisture, but then they don't like too much moisture. They like just the right amount. So, you know, I kind of have to get that. Ah, that looks good. That looks really good. There we go. I think that should plenty enough. If not, we'll make some more. Alright, I'm gonna bring him over. Now, I've learned with smaller pots not to put this stuff in it, because you're gonna change it, and then when you're repotting them, you've got this just piece of clay in the bottom, and when you're transplanting, that's not fun, because, you know, then there's, each time you transplant, there's these little notches. I guess you could be like, oh look, you can see each time just for the sake of repotting, and it's a smaller pot. So, he actually has put out 2 leaves since you guys last saw them, so I've been really impressed with him. Okie dokie. Put a little bit in there. I'm gonna control the flow a bit there. And then a little bit more soil. A little bit more. Actually, I'm going to hollow that out a bit. That way. But then that's too shallow. Gotta get just the right height there. Just the right height. Because I don't want to submerge the sides too deep. That should do fine. Right. Pull his little tag out. Sadly, I think the lemon bit the dust, but I think what I'll do to get around that is... Oh, healthy. Oh, healthy, healthy. Look at those roots. I think I'll just go to North End Organic here in Idaho and go get one of their lemons. It might be a bit more expensive, but I'll get an older plant and it'll be doing well. The other one, I just think that was just end of year. It just wasn't a good one. Hopefully you guys aren't getting too much of a glare up there. The sun's kind of coming in. If it is, I'm sorry. You were not in the sun a minute ago, but apparently you might be now. Okie dokie. Actually, I will use a scooper for this. Scoopa. Dirt. Good thing I wore work pants. Then, here we go. Pour that in there. Get a little bit of that. Yeah, I'm really looking for it. Hopefully, I think these guys will do way better. I've tried to grow all these plants before except for the olive and killed them, but I learned. Thus, this time, I will not make the same mistake. Don't tend to make the same mistake twice. Don't make the same mistake twice. Also, if you give them higher sides, it's nicer for when you're fertilizing, because then you can give it nice deep water and it'll kind of go down the sides there. Okie dokie. Neighbor visit. Now, we got that one done. We'll add some water. Ooh, don't fall down on me. There we go. Well, let's see here. We've got one balance, 2, 3 plants potted. I think that calls for a bit of a celebration. I ran out of memory, but I'll finish the last part off here. If you like the video, please hit a thumbs up. If not, hit the dislike button. Comment down below for any answers about how to winter this guy over, or about the project that I have upcoming, or just your thoughts on the video, what you thought was interesting, any tips or questions you have, or if you just want to talk gardening, I'd be up for that as well. I guess until next time, keep growing indoors. Talk to you then.